Bringing Up Bates stars Josie and Zach Bates have been living their best lives with their respective partners. The siblings are considered to be some of Gil and Kelly Jo's most successful children today. They've been thriving in their businesses and careers. However, some Redditors recalled the time when the two allegedly rebelled before marrying their spouses today. Keep reading to see the discussion. Bringing Up Bates. How's Josie and Zach Bates today? Josie has been busy managing her hair curling business, Effortless Beauty. Many fans are impressed by how fast the Bringing Up Bates star got herself back on track shortly after welcoming her third child with Kelton on February 21, 2024. Josie has also been uploading clips and pictures from their family activities. She has also been more present for her siblings amid speculations that she's beefing with some of them, especially with Carlin. Zach continues to thrive on his YouTube cooking channel. Several family members have already appeared in his videos. Kelly Jo has also been supporting her son by constantly appearing to share some of her popular recipes. Josie and Zach's big confession before marriage. Some Redditors discussed Josie and Zach's alleged rebellion before marrying their respective partners. Sources claimed that the Bringing Up Bates stars allegedly kissed their partners during courtship, which is against their beliefs. The question eventually reached Josie and Zach. According to Zach, he did confess to his parents about kissing Whitney before marriage. Meanwhile, Josie and Kelton previously stated that they bribed their chaperones back in the day and admitted that their wedding kiss wasn't their first kiss. Zach talked about confessing to his parents that he and Whitney kissed before marriage. Don't know about the church thing. And Josie and Kelton were more nonchalant about the kissing. Even talked about bribing the chaperones. I've never heard of Josie and Kelton kissing before marriage. Is there some sort of post or something that says this? I genuinely want to know lol. Yes, someone asked her in a Q&A on Instagram if their first kiss was actually at their wedding, and they both said no. Alyssa and Jadon also kissed before marriage. I don't believe Gil made anyone confess publicly. I do remember an episode of BUB where Zach was teasing Gil and Kelly Jo about teaching the kids the no-kissing thing when they themselves had kissed before marriage. It was a delight. Bringing Up Bates. Are there new courtships in the family today? There are currently no confirmed courtships in the Bates family today. Warden and his now ex-girlfriend, Taylor Maples, called it quits last year. However, Isaiah made headlines after some Bringing Up Bates fans spotted him spending time with his alleged girlfriend, Sarah. A photo of them surfaced last July and was later seen at the Bates family's gathering for Gil's birthday last December. Unfortunately, the Bates family remains silent about the two. If there's one thing fans adore about Bringing Up Bates, it's how this tight-knit family never shies away from sharing their real raw moments. But even the most loyal fans might be surprised to learn about the heartfelt confession that Josie Bates and her husband Zach made before they ever said, "I do." In a world where reality TV often focuses on picture-perfect scenes, Josie and Zach's honesty shows that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is speak your truth, even when it's hard. When Josie Bates first introduced Zach to the world, many thought they were an odd match. Josie, the creative and independent spirit, known for her flair for hairstyling and her quiet confidence, seemed like she'd always chart her own course. Zach, on the other hand, had already grown up under the spotlight as the eldest Bates sibling, with the weight of expectations resting heavily on his shoulders. From the outside, it seemed like their paths were destined to remain separate, but love has a way of changing everything. Before they took the leap into marriage, Josie and Zach found themselves at a crossroads. They had spent countless hours together, sharing dreams, laughter, and yes, even disagreements. But something was lingering in the back of their minds, an unspoken fear that they weren't being completely honest with each other or even with themselves. In an exclusive interview years later, Josie revealed what really happened in those quiet moments before they got engaged. Zach and I sat down one evening, right after a family gathering, she shared. We were watching the sun go down on the front porch, and I just felt this lump in my throat. I knew there was something I needed to say. That something turned out to be the confession that would change the course of their relationship forever. Josie admitted that she had been struggling with doubt. Not about Zach's love for her, that she says was always clear, but about whether she was truly ready to step into the role of a wife so young. At the time, Josie was juggling her new career as a hair and makeup artist, opening her own studio, and finding her identity outside the Bates family bubble. I didn't want to feel like I was losing myself in the process, she explained. I love Zach so much, but I needed to know that he loved all of me, including the parts of me that needed space to grow. Zach, for his part, was just as honest. In a twist that Josie says took her breath away, he confessed that he too had fears, ones he hadn't felt brave enough to share. He told me that he worried about not being good enough for me, Josie said, her voice softening at the memory. He was so used to being the strong one for everyone else, the big brother, the dependable son, that he didn't know how to let me see his vulnerable side. That night on the porch, they made a promise, no secrets, no masks. If they were going to build a marriage that lasted, they needed to start with a foundation of complete honesty, even when the truth was scary. It was a turning point for the couple. They decided to press pause on their engagement plans and spend a few months truly getting to know each other's fears and dreams. They went on long drives through the Tennessee hills, spent evenings in prayer and deep conversations, and even saw a marriage counselor, something that's still considered rare in their tight-knit, conservative community. I think some people in the family were worried, Josie admitted with a smile. There were whispers that maybe we weren't going to make it to the altar. But for us, it was the best thing we could have done. We learned that love isn't just about the sweet moments, it's about the hard ones too. When the big day finally arrived, Josie walked down the aisle not as a young woman full of doubt, but as a confident bride ready to embrace her new life, fears, dreams, and all. Zach stood at the altar, no longer hiding behind a stoic smile, but ready to share every part of himself with the woman he loved. Their wedding was beautiful, but what really made it special was the secret promise they made that night before their engagement. The promise to always confess their truths, no matter how messy. It's a promise they've kept through the ups and downs of married life, through parenthood, through starting businesses and building a home together. Now, years later, Josie and Zach often talk about that big confession as the moment that made their marriage real. I think people assume that you have to have it all figured out before you say yes, Josie says. But the truth is, marriage is about growing together, not being perfect from the start. Fans of Bringing Up Bates have watched Josie and Zach's journey unfold with admiration. From welcoming their daughters Willow and Hazel, to balancing family life and careers, they've become an inspiration for young couples who want to build relationships rooted in truth. Their confession before marriage may have felt scary in the moment, but it has become the glue that holds them together. And if you ask them today what advice they'd give to couples preparing for their own wedding day, Josie's answer is simple: don't be afraid to say what's really in your heart. The truth might feel risky, but it's the only way to build a love that lasts. In a world where reality TV romances can feel fake or scripted, Josie and Zach's story reminds us that real love starts with real honesty. It's not always easy, and it's certainly not perfect, but maybe that's exactly what makes it beautiful.